Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast. Hey, you are listening to Wes. It's great to be with you today, and I'm joined by Nick for episode 32, which is live on YouTube and will be available on YouTube after and Spotify straight after as well. So we've got a legend for you, an absolute legend. The next legend to join us on Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast is a guy that scored 33 goals in 96 appearances for the club. Of course it is. It's your main man. It's Anthony Malbon. Hello, Malbs. How are you, pal?
I'm all right to you.
I'm well. I'm very well.
Round of applause.
Good. Very good.
Nice. There he is.
Good.
Wow. And did you play today? Did you manage today? What happened today?
No, I've actually done nothing today.
Love that.
I've to be fair, I haven't played for a while now because I've got a new job, so I started doing shifts work and stuff. So I can't really commit at the moment until I'm more into the job, so I can demand Saturdays off and stuff.
Do you know who I am? Do you know I scored 33 for Harriers?
It's horrible at the back end of your career because you can't tell anybody because you're like your legs are gone and everything. you can't demand that favouritism no more.
I love that, Miles. Well, anyway, I'm going to do you justice tonight, mate. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. You went on to score a shed loads of goals in the lower leagues. Then Harriers came knocking. When he signed, what were your initial thoughts as you were jumping up 4 leagues?
I don't think to be fair, the jumping up the leagues, it ever bothered me. I know I was at Vale before and that, and I think I made one appearance, only 5 minutes for the first team, but I was doing well in the reserves. For Vale, so like the level really never bothered me. But it was funny because I remember getting a phone call because my little lad wasn't very well, and I stayed at the hospital the night before, so I come from the hospital and next day drive up and to sign the contract. It was mad. But I know the jumping up the levels never bothered me. I had faith in my ability. That's not me being arrogant or nothing.
I love that.
I always had faith in my ability, and it just somewhere I wanted to showcase it in a club that allowed me to do that as well. That's the thing.
How important for you?
Sorry, Nick.
No. I was going to say, Miles, when I knew this was doing this, did a bit of YouTube research just to refresh the memory banks, and you scored on your debut, didn't you? Away at Alfreton. How important was that to sort of get up and running right from the off?
Yeah, massive. I think also as well what helped was coming from Castletown, even though it was lower leagues, but I was on a good goal scoring run then as well. Because like when I look back on the video, I don't mean, but the keeper probably should have saved it. but that's because I feel that's just because of the run of form I was on and the luck I was having at the time. Do you know what I mean? I thought no matter what you could hit it and go in, and it was just nice be there and be in that position. And I can't describe the feeling. I just putting off my arms, just swinging.
Yeah. But as well, I mean, you talk about the confidence. You were a big part of the build-up in that. I remember about maybe 20, 30 seconds before you were dropping deep, playing a square ball, and then the ball went out wide, and all of a sudden you're on the end of the ball that's in the box. That is ultimate confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like I say, it just everything happens for a reason, and I was just full of confidence. And I think I got did I get 33 goals for Castletown just before I signed? I think it was something like that. Because I was in the high numbers, so obviously everything, my whole gameplay was I was just a very confident player because of that. And then obviously it helps that, but I was just happy to get on the pitch. It was just nice to get on the pitch, and then was it Guy and then you got the second goal? I
think so. I can't. Yeah. I stopped after yours, to be honest.
Yeah, took the shine off him. 1-0 would have been great. 93rd minute. I had to get a second goal, didn't he? No, but it was. I always remember that, and I'll always. To be fair, again, this might sound a bit. It's not weird, but I do go back and I watch the goal as well because I'd say even though I scored a lot more, that's my favourite ever goal. With it being my first ever one in like pro football kind of thing.
Wow, well, that's one of the questions answered. You go, thanks, Miles, for that. But talking about scoring goals and that, let's talk about your former strike partners. Who was better, Gash or Jammer?
I'd probably say, well, I can't. That's a hard question because obviously Jammer went on to have a high career. Do you know what I mean? High career, and obviously got his big money moves and stuff. But I think personally, the best. I think they're the best with Gash. I think me and them had a very good partnership, and I enjoyed playing with him. We took the batterings for us as well, and I did a lot of running. But now we both scored goals. So I mean, I don't think I played with Jammer for that long, because I think when I first signed, he not got banned, but he didn't play for ages. And then when he did, he had I think I played with him for a month or two, and then he got his move. I can't really remember that.
It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. I get that. Was it 10 years, 11 years, Smart?
Yeah, it's got me. Yeah.
More, maybe.
More, I think.
Yeah, 12, 13, possibly.
Yeah.
Nick, your next question, mate.
Yeah, just a quick one on that partnership with Michael Gash. I spoke to him a couple of years ago about when he signed for you. I think I remember looking at the stats. He only played about 13, 14 games together in that that really, really epic season.
Yeah.
Did it just click? Because you wouldn't have had time to sort of work on it, really, would you? Because he arrived quite late in the season.
Yeah, he did just click. I remember playing against him he was at Cambridge, because I think he scored against us at home when I finally scored after 16 games. And all that relief come through. But I think he played well against that day, and I'm pretty sure he scored. But he was up there in the top goal scorers in the league anyway. And I think sometimes when people say like you need work on strike partnerships and stuff, it's either there naturally or you never will be. I've never been a believer in like they work together. Like you've got to work on them together, and that you've either got it naturally or instinctively, or you haven't. And I think me and him just clicked, and it's just one of them where, even though it wasn't for very long and towards the back end of that season, but it was still an important time, and I think we both played well together.
Malbs, can you tell pretty much instantly? You were saying there about you can tell, but what does it take? Do you have to have like a training session with someone, and then you watch them play and you think, well, I could do that? Or what is it?
I've had training sessions with people before where I've looked and I thought, yeah, I'll get in click with him. Then I played a game with him. It's just been I think naturally it's just during a game. It's like little things where, like getting like where his head, like these little patches of play where it comes into and he holds it up and you round him, or they're getting the flicks and you're reading onto it. It's just things like after a game or two, like say some people do say, oh, it takes 5, 6, 7. After a game or two, in my personal opinion, from what I've experienced in my career and the players I've played with, after a game or so, I know if I've got good chemistry with them or not. And he was the thing is with Gash, he was a very clever player, which people look at him and think like he was. I'm not saying it, but like he was a brute, like a big target man. But he was actually a very good footballer. Which and he got he had a good brain on him. He knew where to go. His passes and stuff like that. So he was actually a very good footballer as well.
Yeah, my favourite Gashi goal is the one in the FA Cup against Newport, where he just rolls it and just curls it into that brilliant goal. Obviously Steve Burr was the manager who signed you. I think Harriers fans love Steve Burr because of the football that he played. Those sort of 3 seasons or so that we had with him were ever so exciting. So, as a player, what was it like to play under Steve Burr, and what was he like as a manager and a man manager?
You felt like you were worth millions. If that makes sense, like he was a very, he wasn't so much tactical, which again is a good thing because he give you that freedom, and I think that's why we played the football we did and we went on the runs that we did. I think he'd done a quote where he'd rather win 4-3 than 1-0 or something like that because he's a very attacking manager,
and that happened quite a lot.
But like as fans and that, you get your money's worth. Do you know what I mean? And as a player, it was very good. It was very good to play for because that's all he was bothered about was just attacking football. So, but he made you feel nice and like welcome, and he was kind of like a father figure in the sense of not just to me, to everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like how he spoke to you, he was just a very nice man, and it was no coincidence why he did so well. Because a lot of people you speak to now, they've got a lot of time for him, and but as an attacker, he was brilliant. Even in the Fridays when we do finishing and stuff, he'd see him doing his volleys, posting his videos, doing keepy ups, then his volleys and stuff like that. he was still like playing part as well, and he was great. He was great. He was great play for.
I'm glad you said that because we actually interviewed Steve Burr about a month ago, and I asked him to say a few words about yourself, Malbs, and he said this. I remember paying 10 grand for Malbs. Newcastle wanted 15, but we got him for 10. I came off the bench at Alfreton and got us the winner. I loved him. He reminded me a lot of myself as a goal scorer. Natural finisher and cheeky with it. Nothing fazed him. He was stepping up at the time, about 4 levels, come into the Conference Prem and handled it really well. He was a bit of a lad like Varney and Stores, but I love the challenge of managing him. At one point, he had Celtic, Ipswich, Bradford, along with others watching him. Loved him to bits. Whoa, it's a proper bromance there, buddy.
I know, yeah. I was a bit of he used to call me Moaning Malbs. He wasn't right. I just moaned over anything. It wasn't like in a bad way. Well, it was just something had happened in the game and he'd see me going. I remember, I can't think who was on the bench at the time. He goes, "Is that Moaning Malbs again?" He was brilliant. He's probably the best manager I've had. He was just, in fact, it was nice going into, because you've got some managers who you go into and you just didn't want to play for them. They were just, no matter what happened, they treat you horrible. But he was just brilliant. He'd always have time for you. He'd speak, and what a bloke. But yeah, Moaning Malbs.
Daniel Giles just got involved because we got live on YouTube, Malbs. It says, absolute legend, Malbs, always welcome at the Kiddie.
Brilliant.
And we're failing to score up front, really, if I'm honest with you. So if you've got your boots on and you fancy it, why not? Why not pop
out? My legs are going
out. Well, it's just a little thing. Just a little thing.
Yeah.
Just a little thing.
Listen, I'd know where be in the box still. Don't get me wrong. That'd be no problem.
It's all you need. It's all you need.
Exactly.
All you need.
Exactly.
That's all you need. And obviously, you talk about Steve Burr being a father figure, and that epic season where the title race went down to the final day. We missed out on that on the last, didn't we? On the last day, and Mansfield got the title. The following season, I mean, Steve got shipped off pretty quickly, didn't he? In the end, little sort of short run of form, really. He got the boot, and then Andy Thorne came in, and you talk about not wanting to play for certain managers or managers not fancying you. I think that was how your relationship with Andy Thorne was, wasn't it?
It went, how can I say, because it started off rough and then it went it got better than he left. Like it was a weird one. So at first, obviously, I remember him putting in the press something about I needed to get fit, which I thought that's the one thing with myself is I always worked hard no matter when I played for Kidderminster. I'd run myself into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was sometimes, yes, my weight probably did blow up and down that, but I was never as what he portrayed at the time, I don't believe. And I don't know. I just think he had his own agenda, wanted to bring his own players in. And it just didn't start off well. I mean, I remember who did I come on? Was Salisbury in the league at the time?
Yeah.
Salisbury. And he brought me on at Salisbury. I think obviously Lolly and that were there. And when he brought me on for like 10 minutes. I might be wrong here, but I felt like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes. And I remember him turning, he goes, "I'm giving you your opportunity now, don't wait," and stuff like that. And I'm looking at him thinking, wow, like, no disrespect to Salisbury, but you're bringing me on against Salisbury, it's like with 10 minutes. What opportunity are you giving me here? Like, I've earned to be here, do you get what I mean? And he just felt very disrespectful to me at first. He put there was me, Gashi, Fowles, we were called Fat Club. So the gym before training, we'd go with Gav Crow, the physio, and everyone else would do their own. We'd be in Fat Club having to do all the plank, having to all these different versions of planks and all this, and I was just baffled by it all because, no disrespect, but like Lee Fowler and that, what a technical player he was, and got probably the 3 most technical players at the club, the ones he was doing that to, and it was just weird. Like, it was very weird. But it grew after a bit. I remember Sunderland away, and when the fans started singing my name, turning to Shay Duncan, I said, "That's killed me." He was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "He'll prove a point now. He won't bring me on." Like, and he brought on Santiago Aloy, and then we never saw it again. I just knew. It it was just one of them, and he killed us a bit. He did kill us a bit.
I was there. Nick, were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I was sorry for killing you then that afternoon. No, we were singing as well.
It was brilliant. You imagine sitting there and even, what was it, 4,000 fans singing your name? I could never, like, there's people who live the lives that have that, and I've achieved that. What I mean? And yes, I didn't get on the pitch, but like that memory will live with me forever. Do you know, no one can ever take that away from me. But I just remember turning to Shay, and I was like, "That's killed me." That I was like, because you know when some managers come in and they want proof of, and he's always felt like everything he did it not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like he did everything against the fans just to say that he was in charge. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, weird period that was.
Yeah,
weird.
it was. That's how it felt like. So as soon as that was happening, I just knew straight away. I was like, I'm not going to get on now. Like, he's just going to go against the fans here just to prove that he's in charge. It's backfired on him in the end.
Absolutely, it did. He'd gone. How long did he last? About 60 days or something? Or was it?
Because I remember he gave me a fair start at Cambridge, I think.
Yeah.
I scored away at Cambridge. So it was not like, do you know what I mean? It's not like I couldn't do anything. As soon as he started me, I scored. And it was period.
But then we conceded 5, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't want to bring that up. Just let me remember the good thing.
I was about to say we always win at Cambridge. Obviously, not that day. We didn't.
Not that day. No, I don't want to bring the rest of it up. Just remember the good thing. That was all.
Absolutely. Malbs, so when I was researching, because that's what we do, we don't just wing it. We do research, don't we, Nick? You know, we do a bit of research for these things.
Well, I mean, some of us have already got it, but
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, calm down. And I saw, is this true or not, that you turned down an England C cap because you went on a lad's holiday? Is that true?
Yeah.
Mate, come on now. What was going on through your brain when that happened?
I just had a long season. I just wanted to chill. And I just couldn't. I didn't want to carry on. I didn't want to go Russia. I didn't want to go Russia.
I mean, that explains it all.
I know it sounds like it's ungrateful and that, but already paid go away. I just wanted to break. We had a long season. I just wanted a break from it, and then I didn't want it carry on and, you know, going into a training camp and then traveling to go Russia. I just wanted to end, and it was, again, this might sound, it's not sounding horrible, but it's just to play for the England team wasn't really an ambition, in a sense of it wasn't something that I drove for. Like, do you get what I mean?
And it wasn't England Day, so you know.
Well,
it wasn't Wembley. I wouldn't have thought.
No, it might sound disrespectful, but it just wasn't something that inspired me anyway. Like, obviously, my job was for Kidderminster, so I wanted to do well with them. So I just wanted to get rested and then ready for the next season, and that's all it was. It was, yes, it might have been a selfish point of view from that end about going on holiday and now, but it was also, I just wanted to play for Kidderminster. So that's all my focus was, playing for England. So it was never an ambition.
Where did you go on your holiday, your lad's holiday?
Magaluf and Benidorm. It was brilliant.
Lads. That's beautiful. Someone more seriously now, I want to talk to you about, because we share this in common. Because something I've suffered with is mental health problems. It's been documented that you had issues also. Do you know when it started, and how do you manage it still?
It was when I was probably just before. Well, the second I did. How can I say it now? It sounds shippy, but obviously the season that we never went up and we lost in the playoffs, I was just ended up down. And then when I come back, before all this was like a big thing now, how it is, how you have your like groups and stuff. I was going, the Kidderminster at the time, they were very good with me, like Gavin Crowe and that. They sent me up through the PFA, and I was going to see like a psychologist up Manchester.
Yeah.
On a train and coming back to training and stuff like that. And I can't explain how it just come on. It just did, and I was just feeling down and gloomy all the time, and just didn't want to go out the house, didn't want to move, and I had money, like, so you can't, nothing to do with money or living situation or anything, because I had everything was going good, my life was great. Yeah. I just couldn't put a finger on it where it just all changed, and I just started to become the way I did, and it was just, just couldn't get over things, and it was just dead hard. But the club were great. That's one thing I will say with them. They were brilliant for that.
It's hard, isn't it? Because that the season that you talk about when we miss out, all of us I think felt that massive low, didn't we? Because the season started really poorly, didn't it? With the 5 defeats and 5 draws, and then we went on that ridiculous run. Everyone, I think, believed that we were going to do it, and then to miss out on the final day was just a huge blow for everybody. And then you're obviously far more involved in it all. We have the playoff campaign, and that just sticks and hurts, doesn't it, as well? And I think it's completely understandable that to miss out like that after 7, 8, 9 months of hard graft, that it takes its toll, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I say, I don't know whether it might, but it probably did have an effect on me. Do you get what I mean? But it was just I just couldn't put a picture on it and how or why I felt the way I did, and it was horrible. It was like I just wanted to stay in a room and in a dark room and the lights off and just lie there and not get involved with anybody, not speak to anybody, just feeling like miserable. And you got to pull yourself together. Don't get me wrong, but it's easy for when people sit there and say that. But when you feel the way you do, you just can't explain it.
Yeah, it's mental health. I don't think. I mean, I was about to say there's no drug you can take for it, but there is. But I don't think it's effective for different people. To be honest with you, I mean, I go down the road. I go down the road of vaping, some of the good stuff. But yeah, that helps me out. That calms me right down as well. But I'm sure you weren't doing that when you were playing for Harriers, or maybe
No. Bloody hell. But no, I didn't even drink then either. That's the thing. I didn't really drink then either. So it wasn't like I was never a drinker anyway. Do you get what I mean? So it was never like I think I was 21, 22 when I had my first pint. Do you get what I mean? So it wasn't like I ever come from drinking or anything. It just was never what I was into doing. So so you can't even blame anything like that either. It was a horrible time, but obviously it extended after that, and it just probably why my career ended up the way it did. But I wouldn't change anything for the world. Do you know what I mean? I would not change anything for the world because obviously we're leaving like with Kidderminster and going to Kidsgrove and doing everything that I did there. It was just, if I had the chance to do it again, do you get what I mean? I've been happy at the football clubs and stuff, so I wouldn't change that side of it. No.
Mams, you just told us about your best ever goal. Was Alfreton. What about your second best ever goal, Malbon?
Well, the Alfreton was my favourite goal, not my best ever goal.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
That wouldn't get a top 20, but best ever goal. Oh, it's a tough one. Because again, I've scored some good ones. My second favourite goal. You put me on the spot there. You've put me on the spot. I'll think of it.
Okay.
But, have you got any on mind?
Have I got any on mine? No, mate. No, you're Malbon, not me.
No, but I'm kidding.
I tell you what, one of my favourites is on the final day against Stockport when you put through and you send the defender on his arse basically and just bend it with your left foot. I love that. I love the way you've just completely done with him. He's gone and you've just got half a goal to aim at. You just put it away. That's one of my favourites. Yeah,
that was a good goal. I remember that. I mean, that day was mad. Wanted to me in the ground and that out was packed in the atmosphere.
It's mental.
Yeah. Oh, probably my second favourite was actually Luton away.
Luton away, 1-2-1, right?
Yeah. When I did to put McNulty down and then I rounded it round Matt Taylor as he placed into the net. That was that. That's the one goal I can never find, and I'm devastated. From that seat because they put it all up on the YouTube channels, don't they? But that's the only goal that's not on there, and I'm devastated.
Might be on the Luton one, the Luton page.
Oh, I never even thought of looking at that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a look. But yeah, that comes to mind there because obviously I remember going Luton away and that way watching with Stoke when I was younger. So to go there watching Stoke when in the Championship to end up playing him, it was a bit surreal and what a ground it was a right nice tight little ground, wasn't it? and it was always a hostile place go. But yeah, I'd say that was that probably my second favourite.
Yeah. Can I ask you about maybe not your favourite? Well, you can answer favourite player as well if you like, but the best player that you played with during your time at Kiddie.
Well, he's going to be usual, isn't it? Obviously, you could see Lolly was out of this world. You know, Marv Johnson had something. Obviously, just depending what Marv. Shea Dunkley, I was always close to him, but he could become an outstanding defender. He got started, but you got your standouts, ain't you, Lolly? He was just on you knew what he was doing, but you couldn't stop it. Just that drop of that shoulder come inside, you just couldn't stop it, and like how he come about and stuff. But even to be fair, Leandri, when he was there, like he might not in the games, but in training, you just see the difference in him in training. You could tell like he's played in the Prem and stuff like that. But as I say, as a talent, you probably saying Joe Lolly. He was just different kettle of fish, wasn't he?
Is he still playing now?
Yeah, he's at Sydney.
Yeah, he is. Saw an interview of him the other day. I don't know if it was an old interview or something. Well, he's got that tash, probably worse than mine. Yeah,
he did Ben Foster, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's a nice lad. Lolly was. He was let's say uni lad and stuff. But he was. How we got him, I have no idea. And what I think the deal they had him on at first was it was daylight robbery from whoever did that deal, they needed, you know what I mean? They need a raise, because just to pick somebody out like that and go on what he did, he was just frightening.
Steve Burt told us about that, actually. He said we went and saw him play, and then Mark Serrell. Oh yeah, that was a gem, wasn't it? Mark Serrell.
Yeah.
At the time. He said he went back to Mark and said, "Listen, we've got to sign this guy. He's playing at his uni. We've got to sign him." And Mark was like, "No, and go and look at him again, and go and look at him." He said, "Listen, if we don't sign him now, we've lost him." And that's when he ended up signing.
Well, it's because he scored a hat trick in a friendly, didn't he? They brought him in for a pre-season friendly, came on in the second half and banged 3 in.
Yeah, I remember that was that at Stourport or something like that.
It was Cinderford or Coles, or I can't remember. It was someone. Yeah, it was someone like that. Someone lower down.
I wasn't involved. I got the week. That was in a pre-season friendly, and I got the weekend off. And I remember being at home and saying that. And I remember tweeting saying, "I'm not needed anymore."
He weren't there that long. He weren't that long in his fat.
No, I know, but you could see but it doesn't matter. Someone's there, like you could just see the talent in him, and he was just. But it was good for me though, because in terms of like when we do running sessions and that, he was at the back, so that was better for me. So normally me at the back, because when I used to do running sessions there, I'd run it all down the pitch, but in training there was I hated that. But I used to beat him, so it made me feel better about myself. But
it's a win, isn't it? Yeah. It's a win. Let's be honest, it's a win.
Yeah.
And Nick, I've got one more question left, Nick. So fill your boots, mate. Fill your boots.
I want to ask you. I mean, you won't have got the headlines for this game, but I know that you played in it. I watched the highlights briefly. The 3-2 win at home to Newport. Nick Wright's hat trick. Yeah. I mean, I love it because when he scores the third, you go bananas and off completely the opposite direction. I just wanted to know what that was like to play in and when he came on and scored those 3 goals.
Oh, it'll be to this day the maddest game I've ever played in my life. Like obviously, it's dead and buried, and it's just the way how it went, and like I'll never forget that when he got that fit. You just have like an out of body experience. I was just going to try and wear with the fans and that, and it was just you go from being dead and buried to like I think that's the thing with football. There's nothing in this world that can get it's the biggest drug you can ever take, if that makes sense. Like the highs that you get with it are like no other. Like the lows are obviously low, but that you go from being down there to equalising, thinking what a point, then to getting that win, and it's just that's why you can see the celebrations the way they were. It was brilliant, and long live in the memory, like, and like that's what football is, though, isn't it? For days like that, I mean, I imagine fans being like, I'm watching it and just. Do you get what I mean? And I'd love being in the crowd. That's probably why.
It's brilliant. It was brilliant. I tell you, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps now even watching it, and it was 11, 12 years ago, and every time I watch it back, I still get the goosebumps on my back of my neck.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Beautiful. Malbs, listen, thank you so much for your time tonight. We've really appreciated it, mate. And I know there'll be a lot of fans who are watching this thinking, oh, there he is. He's amazing. So finally, Malbs, we always give players a chance to have the final word. It's a great chance to speak to the fans who supported you throughout your career at Kidderminster Harriers. If you want to, you don't have to. But if you do, then take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I do. I just want to. I remember doing an article a couple when I first signed and stuff. I think it was a year or so later, and it was true. I just want to say thank you for making me fall in love with football again at the time, because obviously I know I was doing well at Castle and I was confident in that, but there wasn't hesitation in terms of getting back into professional football with what happened with Port Vale. And then that football club signing is the best thing that's ever happened to us, because the love that I had and it just rekindled all that and just made me feel like a kid again. It was like waking up on Christmas Day, and the Kidderminster Harriers will always have a special place in my heart. And I still go on now and get the fans tweeting me, talking to me. And I was there for 3 years, but it was a special 3 years. But I think they know I give everything for the cause and give everything for that badge. And I always put the badge first instead of my name. And I think that's the biggest compliment I can say. And what a club, what a place. And I wish you all the best. And I want to come a game, and I will come a game eventually. But I just really, really hope you get back to where you deserve, because it's the best club. For me, it's the best club in the world. And I'm not just saying that, I've said that when I've been out in the pubs and stuff to get really. And any player out there that has the chance to sign for them, because you won't get love like it, especially with the fans. So I hope we get up there now and carry on where they need to be.
We really do. Just had a message coming from Phil Tanner. Thanks, Miles. Really enjoyed hearing your memories at Kidderminster, and thanks for your goals and your magic moments. And that's it, my friend. That is it. We'll give you a round of applause, and we'll say thank you so much for coming on. And we hope you carry on being as great as you are, Malbs. Thank you so much, buddy. Cheers.
Thank you, Malbs.
Cheers.
See you later, pal. Thanks, Malbs. Bye. And there you go. And like that, he's gone. He is gone. So thank you so much. We have to say thank you so much to Malbs. That was amazing. Was that fun, Nick?
Yeah, I love that. I just love the enthusiasm. You know straight off it's not fake. It's not manufactured. He is what he is in the Anthony Malbon, and that was brilliant. Yeah. I love that chat.
Absolutely. Right, he's still there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick from the studio. Oh, I hate kicking people, especially Malbs. It's ridiculous. Right. Anyway, Nick. Yeah, let's go back to my. Let's go back and yesterday was turgid. Absolute turgid is the best way I can describe it. Right. Yeah. But yesterday we went to Peterborough Sports and take on Phil Brown's Barmy Army, his new side, in the must-win against bottom of the league. After losing 2-1 and not being able to take advantage of a very windy game, Adam mentioned that he was fed up with saying the same things to the same players. Now, I would suggest, Nick, and I don't know how you stand on this because we've not talked about it, but I would suggest if you say the same things to the same players, you get the same results, right?
Yeah, it's so disappointing. Yesterday, I was listening to the first half in my car, and when we got the goal, I thought, right, we've had this. This is what we worked on. Great, kick on, and I'd literally gone 100 yards down the road, and we'd conceded. And I mean, I swore, and the kids were in the back of the car. It was not good. It was not a good. It was not a good afternoon. And then when I got home, listened to the second half, and I just knew what was going to come, because. Well, the radio commentary was depressing just because the football was depressing, and as soon as Peterborough got the second, again, I just felt I couldn't see us here. Well, I couldn't envisage us getting back from what I'd heard of the previous hour or so, or whenever they scored. It just felt so depressing, and it felt like, what have we done over those previous 2 weeks to given what Adam Murray had said in his pre-match about how optimistic it was. We've had a really good fortnight. It's coming together, and I mean, it was a disaster.
One of the things he said in his interview was this:
what someone's going to say on social media about them. If I make a bad pass, if I do this, people are worried what someone's going to say on a podcast or flipping over here. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. At the end of the day, you've got to perform, because if you perform, all the things that you're actually worried about, people are saying nice things about you.
There you go. So, Nick, can you? Well, that's better. We look bigger there. Can you sum up what he's saying there for us, Nick?
Yeah, well, because I listened to that via Hereford and Worcester, so when it was played out about 10-6 in the evening, and that sort of stood out a little bit for me when he said that, and I knew what was going to come, that people were going to say, "Oh, he's blaming podcasts, he's blaming social media." He's not. He's basically saying the players have this fear, he thinks, of what is going to be said. I don't think nobody's blaming podcasts for how players are performing, and I think people who are saying that have got it completely wrong. And he's right that there seems to be this fear of, I don't think it's a fear of what people say on podcasts or social media. I think the fear is from somewhere else. I don't know. We've spoken before, haven't we, about micromanagement and how he is constantly issuing instructions all the time, and for me, that's where the fear is. If you're constantly being told what to do, where to be, how to do it, then that, for me, that's where the fear comes from, of making a mistake. And how much freedom is there in being told, do this, do that all the time? He talks about wanting players to play with freedom without fear. But if you're constantly being told what to do, you are, in my opinion, you're turning your players into robots. You're programming them, aren't you, effectively? Yeah. And there is no freedom in how they play, and the fear is there to make a mistake. To me, it feels like a very difficult environment to try and play your football in. I think, despite what he also says about being on the training, being grateful and enjoying that, it feels like match days are a completely different environment.
Well, the thing was, I was sat with a couple of people I've met that day yesterday, and they're really nice. Francois and Jay, it was lovely to meet you guys yesterday. But it all kind of kicked off a little bit because Jack Clark had the worst 8 minutes. I've never seen anyone struggle like that in 8 minutes, right? But then Vince, the guy, he said something quite loudly, and because Murray was literally 5 yards away, and Murray picked it up and he was like, "What are you doing? What are you saying that for? We're only 6 minutes in the game, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, fair enough, but there you go." But the problem with that ground is you can get so close to them. I know that people are shouting things at Agbra, but there's also a lot more people in Agbra, 6-10 times more people. So it was the way that led down. Well, man alive, I can't explain it. It's so hard to explain. It's like he shouted digger. I've got to be honest, Nick, he must have said the word digger about 1,000 times during that game. And bear in mind, digger has played 300 plus games in the league. I think he knows how to play football.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting. That was upsetting. And then I thought Jack Clark had a good game in the end, but I don't think Jack Clark is a robust midfielder, as in defensive midfielder, as in he's going to go and bang people around, because he's not that type. He's too. I think he's too skinny for that. And what's your thoughts on that, Nick?
I was surprised to see him back in the starting lineup, to be honest, given that to my knowledge, he'd not been in the starting lineup for a good few weeks, and Spokes had taken his place. So when I saw the lineup, I was really surprised to see that Jack Clark had come back in and Spokes had been demoted to the bench, because I think Spokes has been bar Joe Folks. Spokes has been up there with our players of the season so far.
Yeah, Folks and Spokes, living the dream. So after that, we scored, then we conceded straight away, which is unbelievable. Then we conceded another goal, and then we equalised. Brought on Show Silver. We equalised, if you knew that. But it was given offside, and Phil Brown literally jumped from his dugout and was on the pitch celebrating like this. The goal hadn't been given, and I thought, "Hang on, Phil, calm down, son, calm down. I know you want to win, obviously you wanted to win a bit more than us." There was dark arts everywhere yesterday, by the way, Nick. You love that, I think, if you're a big fan of that. But then there was I don't know, 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left, so in the game, and there was no hope. And then the guy next to me, Vinny, starts shouting at Murray, and Murray took offence to it, to the point where he was shouting at this guy next to me and said, "Come on, then, why don't you come over here and say that?" And I was like, "Oh my lord, he's going to excite a riot here." So he was trying to jump over the fence, and Mario got in the way, and I was like, "Oh, this is just awful. This is how low we are right now." So there you go. A comment just come in from Gary. We are almost a quarter of the way through the season. I hope I have yet to be entertained. I struggle to explain what style of football we play. The majority of players Murray signed have gone. Yeah, I think they have. Where's Xander, by the way? Nick, have you seen Xander?
He's been injured, hasn't he, for a little while? I know he I can't remember which game it was where he got injured, because he was on the bench at Curzon and he was about to come on and we scored, and then he was basically told to sit back down again, and then he played the following game, and he got injured then, I think, but we've not seen him since. So I know he's had an injury, so I presume that's why he's not in the squad at the moment. Yeah, and Adigan's not getting a look in, is he, at the moment? Did Riley come on at all yesterday?
No, which is just it was, that game was crying out for Riley to boss the midfield. It absolutely was. Like, he could have done and he should have done, and it was just it was a letdown, man. Honestly, it felt like yesterday. It felt like that was just everyone giving up there. Just felt like giving up. Like, we're going to happily give Peterborough Sports the 3 points. That's what it felt like. I mean, I'm sure that they didn't feel that way when they were doing it. And then Murray was shouting at the fans, and it's like, what are you doing?
That is a sign of someone who's under pressure, isn't it? Who's putting a huge amount of pressure on themselves. And I put a comment on the Harriers online forum about this. I think.
Hello, Phil. Good evening.
Good, Phil. I think Murray has made a mistake potentially in his backroom staff in not having an experienced assistant with him. I think it's all very well having the backroom staff that he's got, who are young and obviously ambitious and up and coming, but it's the National League North. You've got blood and thunder games. You've got like yesterday, you've got Storm Amy wreaking havoc. You've got matches where you've just got to be a bit smarter and just do the dark arts and things, and just to have somebody, I think, to consult with as to what you do. And I know obviously the coaches and staff are there together and they discuss what to do. But I think Adam Murray is ultimately the higher power, for want of a better word, in the decision making. I think if Murray's got an experienced assistant next to him, someone who he can use as a sounding board, someone who isn't afraid to say to him, no, I don't think we should do that, then I think it's a mistake that we don't have that in the backroom staff. I think if you go back to, I can't think of a time when we've not had an assistant manager particularly. Obviously, Russ had Jimmy, and they've spoken before how they butted heads and stuff when they've had disagreements and things about stuff. And before that, obviously Steve Burr and Gary Wiles, they work well together as well. You know, we've always had that manager with an experienced assistant alongside them, and we don't have that now. And I just think, given the situation that we're in, where I think Murray needs a sounding board, he may have it in Dean Holdsworth potentially, but I'm not sure a director of football should be your sounding board. No. He can't be your sounding board during a game. I just think there's a lack of an experienced head next to Adam Murray at the moment.
He was there. I did see him yesterday, actually. I said to Dean, have you seen Phil? And he said no. I said, you bothered? And he said no.
Yeah.
He said, I'm here for 3 points. And we got
Phil
none.
did mention it, didn't he, in his post-match? Phil Brown did mention it, saying nice of them to not say hello, basically.
It's just, do you know, it's the weirdest situation, man. It is. It just is. And going back to your point you just made there, I'm not sure Murray would listen to an assistant manager. Just put it out there. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Well, didn't he have Stuart Watkiss when he was at Eastbourne? I think he had him for quite a while, and then for whatever reason that ended. But I just think, because obviously Murray's had success with Files and he's had success, or almost success, with Eastbourne, that obviously he's got that confidence in himself, which he should have. But I just think the National League North is obviously different to the South. Yes, he's won it with Files, but I imagine he had quite a decent coaching setup there as well, given the money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just think, I don't know. And this is absolutely no negative on the guys that are in alongside him. I don't know too much about them, but I just think there needs to be that experienced head alongside him, just to question and just say, I don't think we should maybe be doing this, or just to have a constructive conversation about what's going to happen and just bounce ideas off. I think because the two guys are so junior almost to Murray, I don't think there's that sort of parity in decision making and discussion.
Yeah. Well, Mario, his assistant, he came from Forest, but he came from the Forest under 21s, I think, or something like that. He's a nice guy. I spoke to him, and he's got the best beard in football, Nick, as well. So, if we don't win anything this season, it will definitely be the best beard in football. There you go. Daniel Giles, thanks, Daniel, for the comment, mate. Fair point with the assistant manager. The conversation with the iPad and tripod camera only goes one way, and yes, it does. It's all these stats, man. Do you know what? I'd love to see, Nick. I'd love to see a game, right, where Murray's not there. And then just go, right, here's your team, right? Just play. Because if you look at our squad, and I was looking at it this morning, and I was looking at the squad, I was thinking, do you know what? How have we not smashed teams? The squad's really good. The team's really good. Yesterday, though, we had 3 up front, more or less. We had AMS, we had Willoughby, and we had Mooney, who came in. He did a lot of running, which is great, testing out the old hamstring, which was nice, and it survived. But it just didn't get going. There was nothing there. I mean, there's this massive gap between midfield and attack, and I don't know who fills it. I've literally got no idea of who fills that. And if it was Jack Clark, he was in the wrong position to be able to fill that void. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, he's not going to go to a game, is he? But I think I said it after the Curzon game that I just wonder what it would be like if he just stood back for 10, 15 minutes and see what happens. And I just don't think it's in him. I just think that is clearly his way of management. And obviously he's had success with that before, but at the moment, I just think it's possibly a little detrimental, along with the just amount of changes from game to game, which I just think it cannot breed any sort of team unity if the starting 11 has 3, 4, 5 sometimes changes from game to game. I don't know what's going on with the defense, because there's talk that maybe Tunnicliffe is potentially on his way, and all these different things that you keep hearing on social media. And he was obviously, when he was brought in, big fanfare about what he was going to bring. And then there's obviously the 2 sort of signings that arrived on Saturday, with Kai Innocent going, one of them's a loan, one of them's for the season, but they're not experienced guys at this level. There's talk of Pierce Bird potentially being injured as well. There's nothing official on that as well. So, I mean, Pierce Bird, when he signed, was billed as a really, really important signing. I like him when I've seen him play. I think he's got the experience, he's got the physicality, he's got the technical ability with his left foot, but he has hardly played. I don't know whether that's down to injury or selection. Obi has grown and grown, thankfully. He's done really well, but he's had different defensive partners pretty much 75% of the time as well, which can't help him.
No. And Peter Bird in the game when we won 1-0 at Kings Lynn, honestly, if you want to show someone how to defend, just show him that, because he was sublime. And John even mentioned it on the podcast. He said, you don't see defending like that very much these days. And it's true, you don't, because it was incredible. Jay, this is Jay who I met, who was part of the crew that were getting abused by Adam Murray, which is nice, obviously. Hi, Wes. Good to see you yesterday, mate. Yes, you too, Jay, as well. Hopefully we are back to winning ways come Saturday. I don't want to talk about Saturday just yet. I don't think we're in that right frame to be speaking. Phil Tanner saying, here's one for you, Nick. But he has a leadership team, if we remember. Tunnicliffe, AMS, Davies, etc. Tunnicliffe stood in stand on his own on his phone. Penny and Bird, nowhere to be seen. Innocent gone. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Murray did talk about injuries defensively, didn't he, on the Wednesday when he spoke to Hereford and Worcester. So, but I mean, if Tunnicliffe's injured, he's not going to travel to Peterborough and stand there in the cold and wet, is he? On his phone. If he's injured, he needs to be wrapped up and looked after. So, yeah, it's frustrating, because I think when we look at the squad, it has got the makings of something of a side that can do something. But
absolutely, 100%.
Just the changes are so frustrating, particularly in the back line. Alex Penny nowhere to be seen. Alex has obviously had such a long time out, but looks fit now. Was part of that back line that defended so well at Kings Lynn.
Yeah,
good player, Alex Penny, I think. Alongside Tunnicliffe and Bird, you would say, and Obi, 4 really decent to say the least, centre halves at this level. Joe Folks on the right, yet to be convinced about Divine on the left for me. But it's just the changes and rotation again in midfield. Spokes has to start, in my opinion. I love Cam Condola. I think he's a great player. He's not getting a look in either.
Didn't get anywhere near yesterday. Didn't get anywhere near. And it's like, well, why did we sign him? Why was he chairman's player of the season? And he's not anywhere near it. What's going on there? He'd have been brilliant in midfield actually yesterday. Yeah. Absolutely. Would have run it, man. Would have run that show.
How was Dan Mooney, by the way?
Pardon?
How was Dan Mooney?
Fast, full of running.
Yeah.
He tried to make loads of things happen, which was brilliant. We also had Willoughby shot saved off the line from Kurt Willoughby.
Yeah.
If these things go in, it's just not going in at the moment. I mean, it will eventually, fingers crossed, happen and change. Like that shot will go in. That won't be offside from Show Silva. By the way, Show Silva has to start on Saturday. He has to. He just has to start. He's a big unit, big guy. He's fast. He's played in the levels above. Get him in there. Why would we sign him and not put him in? I don't know.
Well, he's made an impact.
I do. He just needs a little rest.
Yeah. Well, obviously from listening and watching from afar, he's made an impact, hasn't he? Goal at Telford, and then obviously a goal that was ruled offside yesterday. So he can cause problems, can't he, for defenders? So, and Morgs, there's only so many 90 minutes that Morgs can play anyway. Right. And listening to the commentary, I think he was running a very tight line between being sent off yesterday. I think he got a yellow card, hadn't he? And he was just constantly in the referee's ear. And Chris Williams, the commentator, was saying he was pretty much about to say that Morgan Smith is about to get sent off here, but I think he managed to rein it in. But I nobody can question Amari Morgan Smith and his service to the club. But I think he needs a break as much as anything, to be honest. And now Show Silva's fit.
Yeah,
give him a start. Just try something a little bit different.
Yeah, just try something new, please. Because it's all right saying this, my friend.
What someone's going to say on social media about him. If I make a bad pass, if I do this, people are worried what someone's going to say on a podcast or flipping over here. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. At the end of the day, you've got to perform, because if you perform, all the things that you're actually worried about, people are saying nice things about you.
We always say nice things anyway, Nick. I don't run this podcast in a way that we're going to berate players and say, oh, he was terrible, he should be sent off, oh, he shouldn't be playing, you should get rid of him. We don't do that. There's no point. It's to pick the players up.
Yeah, well, when the usual guys are here, if somebody says something, it's a discussion, isn't it? If somebody says something that somebody doesn't agree with, they'll say they don't agree with it. And I watch avidly, and I don't think that anything has been said that I've thought is overly harsh or overly critical. There's certainly nothing that can be highlighted to say, oh, that's unfair. And again, I'll make the point that Adam Murray is not blaming podcasts for the way the players are playing. And yeah, this line that the club is massive and the players are scared. I just think, I don't know. Sometimes I just think you've got to give those players the confidence to not care about what is said, to be honest. And anyway, the people, or the person that's getting the heats on social media, and if there is a podcast giving anybody heat at the club, the person that's getting it is Murray anyway. I don't think the players particularly per se being singled out.
Yeah, no, I'm just seeing what else we got. And John raised the point that we aren't the only team with a fans podcast or social media. So why aren't the other managers getting upset about that? But it's a reflection on the players. Do you know what, Nick? And I'm going to go deep here, my friend, because I set up originally started doing the interviews with the players to bring the fans closer to the players, and ask questions, that the club wouldn't, and in a jovial way. And I'd love to do it again with the Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast, but they're just not interested. Although, to be fair, that interview we just did with Malbs, that was hysterical. so I love that, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But I just wish, and I know they won't, but I wish the club would just reach out and be like, do you know what, Wes? Is there any chance you can speak to someone here and we can do it? I wish they could just see what I'm trying to do to help them. Does that make sense to you, Nick?
I think the club have got a job to protect the players as well. I think given what's going on at the moment, they're not going to put a player up to be for something that isn't official media duty. Yeah. If that makes sense. I think that's completely fair. on what the club are doing. I don't expect to speak to a player particularly on my podcast either. To be honest, I'd much rather they focus on turning things around and getting it right than spending half an hour speaking to me about what their favourite food is.
After a match, by the way.
After a match, yeah.
Yeah, ask Jim Kellerman that. Fish and chips, but there you go. Anyway, so right, the ladies won today. Well, they drew 3-3, but they won on penalties. But I think it was 5-4 in the end, so they've gone through to the next round of the cup. And John was there, and I've got to play this. Nick, sorry mate, but I'm playing this from John. This is very Winston Churchill-ish, like from John. Yeah. Here he comes.
I, as always, really appreciate and I'm grateful for Adam Murray being open and honest. I think having watched that back a couple of times, my biggest takeaway from it is let's try and focus on the positives. There's an awful lot of the time that Murray's given to talk being spent on talking about fear and pressure and how we don't need to be focusing on that. Okay, then let's not focus on it. Let's try and talk about how we can move forward positively as a team, as a club, as a fan base. I am always fully behind the fact that every single fan has the right to their opinion. I acknowledge that my opinion isn't always the same as others, and that's a good thing. And I think that we need more fan engagement and more fan involvement. I do understand there's a certain pressure that comes from playing for a big club, and I'm sorry, Mr. Murray, we are a big club, and I also understand that with that comes a number of fans who are more willing to express their opinions. But we're not alone. There are clubs up and down the country and up and down this league who have a lot of very enthusiastic involvement from their fans, and also we're not the only club with a podcast. South Shields have got a podcast, and they seem to be coping with what might be said on it all right. I would really encourage every fan to get behind the team, get behind the manager, but keep expressing your opinions. And to Adam Murray, to the whole team, we want to hear what you're saying and we want to support you. So, yeah, let's keep trying to overcome those problems and up the Harriers.
There you go. What do you think to that, Nick?
No, I completely agree. I can obviously I want the club to succeed. I want the club to succeed under Adam Murray as well. I think if he can get it right, because I think when he was appointed, I don't think there was anybody nobody that I spotted or knew that were, this isn't a good appointment. They were very excited given what he'd done at Fylde and what he'd done at Eastbourne as well. So I think and also, I mean, I don't know what you would have seen the stat. I'm sure that this is still a better start to the season than last season. Yep. You know, we're 2 points better off than we were after 10 games last season. So you've got that element as well. And I mean, a lot of people calling for Murray to go yesterday. I mean, they were making the most noise on social media, shall we say, in terms of number. But I mean, I hope, and I don't think they will do anything. I don't want Murray to go because we're 10 games in, and yes, when Phil had that sticky start, there were elements, weren't there, where you think actually it's not far off from being really good. I mean, compare this first 10 games to what we were talking about earlier. Those first 10 games of that season under Steve Burr, we got 5 points from the opening 10 games. You know, Mark Serrell stuck with Steve Burr there because he felt it was the right thing to do. I think Richard Lane is going to stick with Adam Murray as well, but we have to start seeing things improving, I think, now. And I don't think there's anybody that wants Adam Murray to fail. I certainly want him to do really, really well. I would love it, absolutely love it, if things start to turn around and we hit form and we get this consistency and we start winning games, we start playing entertaining football as well. That's one of the things that maybe sticks with me a little bit, is that in his first interview, Adam Murray said about he wants to be entertained. You know, there's nothing worse, he says, than being the manager if I'm bored with my team.
Yeah.
Which I imagine he probably, well, when he's not angry and frustrated, he'll be pretty bored at what he's seeing as well at times. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting how things sort of go this week in training now, because he will be so angry. You could tell from his body language and his facial expression how shocked and hurt, I suppose, as well, from what he saw on Saturday. So this week in training is going to be really, really interesting. I hope those injuries that he spoke about clear up and he has attacking players to choose from, players that are going to make a difference. I'd love to see Xander available again. I want to see Riley Reynolds utilised as well. I want Cam Condola and Spokes to be more involved as well. Yeah. And I don't know whether he just needs to sit down and think, right, do I just keep it simple? Now it feels like, I don't know whether you've heard the phrase, it's just overcomplicated all the time. It feels like with the amount of changes and the amount of systems and everything else that he seems to talk about playing, that it seems quite complicated at times. Sometimes you just think, keep it simple, get some wins together under your belt, and then maybe you can tweak it a little bit then. But yeah, it's frustrating and it's demoralizing at times, but also I'm desperately wanting to do well, because I want the club to be I want to have that winning feeling again on a Saturday.
Don't we all, Nick? Any other business from you, my friend, at all?
No, I'm just frustrated a little bit at how we've now. I mean, it's probably a sign of football generally anyway, that as soon as a club goes on a bad run, the manager's got to go. I mean, I was doing a sports bulletin the other day talking about Ange Postecoglou under pressure, having not won in his opening 6 games when he's been in the job 3 weeks. He's been in the job 3 weeks. Fans calling for him to go after they'd lost. You were at that game, weren't you? The Europa League game against Midtjylland. But
yeah, Midtjylland, Midtjylland, the worst theme park in the world, Midtjylland. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about them, but it was awful. It was awful. Yeah, so I've watched a week. In this week of my life, I've seen 2 terrible football games. Absolutely 2 terrible football games. So keep the faith. Can we just drop the Phil Brown thing now? Can we just do that? Because he's never coming back. We don't want him back, even though some people do want him back. He didn't get us promoted. Let's just remember this. Didn't get us promoted, and I had one of the worst football days of my life at Southport, and I'm sure you did as well, Nick. So let's not forget that.
Yeah, I think let it go. It's gone. We've lost. I think a lot of people just knew that was going to happen anyway. Right, done. Well done, Phil. Let's move on and let's win the home game.
There you go. Listen, that's the end of it. We've just done over an hour, and thank you so much, Nick, for stepping in, mate. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure, thank you.
It always looks like you're going to do a Stars in Your Eyes reveal, though, because it looks like your curtains are just open. You'll be like, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be.
I'm going to come back as a front man. Number 9.
Love that. So if you enjoyed this, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you if you commented on it. That was great as well. Thank you everyone who got involved. We appreciate that. Appreciate your views. We've hit over 50,000 views now, which is brilliant, and we'll keep going and we'll keep doing it because we do it for the fans. And it's great. And I had so many lovely messages yesterday, Nick. There's quite a lot of guys who set their watch for Sunday night at about 8 o'clock. No, there is. And then they're like, the wife's gone to bed and I'm just doing my thing with the with the podcast. And I was like, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. But it's what it's for, man. It is what it is. It's just a couple of guys just tonight and just chatting and interviewing an absolute legend tonight.
Yeah, it's great, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, if you can like, subscribe, and I'll get this loaded up onto YouTube. It's really weird. I'm still trying to figure out how you do it properly. But I think it's gone really well tonight. Yeah, and don't forget we're on Spotify as well. I'll stick it on there too. We've got, who are we playing? Is it Radcliffe on Saturday? I believe it is Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Who can't stop scoring, so that'd be fun. I won't be at that one.
Radcliffe, Chester, Merthyr, Spennymoor.
Oh my Lord. In fact, it's down the bottom. Look, there you go, Radcliffe. On the 11th, Chester on the 18th. By the way, we won't speak to anyone from Chester because I've tried to get someone from Chester to do a speaks with, but they're not interested at all. Merthyr, though, are very interested, so we'll speak to those guys. That'd be really fun when we get that one done. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming on. Appreciate that. Always a pleasure, never a chore. And we'll see you guys when we see you next. But thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Thank you for watching. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.